So, what's going to happen with this catastrophe, with the EMPCOE, the Earth's catastrophe cycle, the plasma apocalypse, whatever you want to call it, is it's going to come in stages before it gets really, really bad. And one of the first stages that's already started to happen, and unfortunately we're going to see it tend to get worse and worse, is food shortages. Crops are failing. You don't really hear about this on mainstream news, but if you do your own research, you'll see that this was one of the worst years for crop failures all over. And this is going to take time before people start to notice the effects of this. It's not going to be instantly because there's a lot of reserve foods. But what's going to start to happen over time, food prices are going to start to get more expensive, and maybe go to the grocery store, maybe some apples aren't available, or mangoes, or whatever. And what is going to happen at some point, which is going to be the worst, is when people start to panic, when people start to realize exactly what's going on, people are going to panic. And it's going to be, at that point, it's going to be too late. It's going to be very difficult to stock up on food because people are just going to be cleaning out the grocery stores. And that's why I would recommend as a simple way to begin to prepare. Because, like I said, this is going to happen in stages. And what we're going to see first, before it gets to the worst of it, is that of crop failures and that of food shortages. And so you don't want your life to be a complete hell and torturous leading up to the main event if you plan on surviving it. And so what I would recommend is really to start doing what you can now. Stock up on some food and so forth. If you go on Amazon, you can get lots of emergency food that has a very long shelf life. Augustin Farms, this one here is a great brand that I highly recommend, and reasonably priced. And a lot of the food items on here have an extremely long shelf life, up to 20 to 30 years. Most of them are in that range. And you can begin to prepare now. That way, when shit does hit the fan, then at least you and your family, you got some food to survive, some sustenance. Because if you wait until the last minute, it's going to be too late. So you don't have to stock up on all your food right away, but I would recommend to, even if it's just a couple things a week or something, order these while you can, because you don't want to get to the point where none of this stuff is left anymore. I've been getting a lot of these over the past couple of months, stocking up on all these. That way, when there is a food shortage, that way myself and my loved ones, we will have sustenance. Because dying of hunger and completely running out of food, that's when people are going to start to go crazy. And you want to make sure that you're prepared. There's a lot of other survival tips that I'll go into and recommend, but this is just a very basic one that you can begin to do to be prepared. Because the last thing you want is to see your children, your family, completely suffering because they don't have any food. It would, leading up until the main event, which that's a whole nother topic of survivalism. This is just basic survivalism leading up to the main catastrophe. So in the meantime, which I'll get into some other survival recommendations, but in the meantime, I would highly recommend stock up on some basic food supplies. That way, you and your family, you have some sustenance. You have something to hold you over. And like I said, this stuff has a very long shelf life. This isn't the only brand. Plenty of other brands. I know I don't work for this company or anything like that. I'm just recommending this. Start to stock up on some food that has a very long shelf life. That way, you got stuff. Like right here is a huge kit you can get. It's expensive, but hey, you're going to be willing to pay anything when you're hungry. So, all right, more good stuff to come. Just wanted to share a quick tip. I hope you're all doing well. Until next time, see you later.